Hello good people, my name is Fabsham. Thank you so much for choosing isinijurutv, and I'm bringing you the latest updates from Uganda. To the Muslim fraternity, happy Eid, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel for the latest updates across the region.
President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has maintained his stand on prioritizing better payment of civil servants in science-related fields as workers push for the harmonization of salaries across the board and enactment of a minimum wage. He was speaking during the International Labour Day celebrations held at Kololo Ceremonial Grounds on Sunday afternoon.
The arts people, we shall support our arts people, but let's start with the scientists because we don't have enough money to handle both. So rather than saying we all get stagnant, no, that's not correct. I'll give you an example. There is an institution called Soroti Flying School. That wonderful institution was about to die because of this policy of Banyankole have a proverb say, Tuingane eturaha marwa. When you are drinking alcohol, you say, we are all equal. Osinzaki. We are all men here. When you are drunk. But when the drink goes away, you discover who is better than the other one. So please, this Osinzaki must stop. Soroti Flying School was about to collapse because of this Osinzaki. We are all government workers. Why? If somebody, we trained our young people as pilots, on propeller, planes, then on jet engines. Once you qualify on a jet engine as a pilot, in the airline, you will be paid 25 million shillings. So here at Soroti, they were wonderfully, this Minister of, there's a Minister of Transport and something else and something else. They were paying pilots 1 million. The pilots said, no, we are going to, if you don't want us, we go to the airline. So the school was going to die. What sort of wisdom is this? I had to intervene. The pilot, if he goes away to the airline, the school will close. So please, let's give the market price. Let's use the principle of market price. What will this person now get on the market price? And in the end, we shall pay all of them well. But if we can't pay all of them, rather than saying we lose everybody, I don't think that's a correct way. It is suicidal. The production in the agricultural sector would demand more processing capacity, and that will create more jobs in the factories. And transport, vehicles to take the thing to the market, the services, all the sectors will expand. So therefore, please take this idea of the partial development model as very, very important. And we can really now change Uganda this time. There are problems in the world. The problems were originally caused by nature, Corona. That one caused us problems, but we survived. And I told you very firmly, because me, I'm not just, I'm not a politician, I'm a freedom fighter. And they were telling me, what? please, the issue now is not losing jobs, is not pregnancy of young children. Those are problems, but the problem now is dying or not dying. So how can you compare? How can you compare problems ebizibu with okufa? If you don't know the meaning, at least put it in your local language. It will be clearer. Ebizibu, problems. Ebizibu are called peko. Peko. Peko with mot. Mot is dying. To with to. How can you compare problems, ebizibu, with okufa? We can have ebizibu, yes. But okufa, dying is irreversible. Ebizibu can either be contained or even be reversed. But once you die, you are dead, finished. So I cannot be part of that mad-headedness. When people's heads don't work properly. So that's how we were able to take tough decisions and survive. The problems now we have, petrol, fertilizer, these are now man-made. They are not nature-made. They are made by our friends in Europe who are fighting. We are talking to them quietly, to all of them, talking quietly, why? We shall see. But for me, I'm not worried. I'm not worried either about the natural problems, because you saw we handled Corona. If we handled Corona, what else can we not handle? Now, for this problem of man-made, which has caused also other problems, I think we shall find solutions. We are talking quietly to the Western group, also to the Russians and the other people. We shall see. We shall brief you at the right time. But for me, I'm not worried about those groups, because we have solutions here. The only thing that was worrying me, which we must address in the coming budgets, now we may not be able to address it, was the issue of the weather. Because these other issues, there is war in Ukraine and Russia, there will be no bread. If there's no bread, eat muhogo. Muhogo is here. What is the problem? You know, Africans really confuse themselves. You are crying that there is no wheat. I don't eat bread myself. If there's no bread, eat muhogo. Muhogo is here. So my real worry was actually the weather. Because the rain was becoming delayed, actually, it delayed. Instead of starting in March, it started in April. So I think as a country, we should plan that in the next budgets, maybe in the other, we are now not able, but deal with the issue of irrigation so that we don't depend on this. Once we do that, for me, I'm not concerned with anything. If whoever wants to, Uganda has got everything. There's nothing we lack. It is a question of just waking up. Even in the next few years, we shall be having our petroleum here, and we have got other energy sources. So all those don't concern us. It is the only one I think now we must look at is irrigation, because that's what is the one which can cause us real problems if the rain fails.
As the world celebrates the Press Freedom Day, journalists in Uganda have decried the poor conditions, including poor pay, that they work in. The Inspector General of Police, Martin Okoth-Ochola, has condemned brutal actions against journalists by the Joint Security Forces. Actions, he says, have dented the working relationship between security and media.
The IGP has come out today to congratulate all journalists and media practitioners on the World Press Freedom Day. As the joint security agencies, we are aware of the role journalists play in providing information to society, and that press freedom is about the right to receive and impart information. Therefore, acts of interference, obstruction with the coverage of journalistic work, like seizing cameras, damaging cameras, intimidation, and physical attacks must stop. The good news is that there is a great reduction on the side of the police as far as the use of tear gas is concerned, especially in times of crisis like public demonstrations. There's a very big reduction in physical attacks on journalists and disruption of media workers. And this one I can go on record that the office of the PRO at the headquarter level and at KMP, we have greatly extended protection to journalists. A number of you, your employers have always gotten in touch with us, and we've always intervened. So we are going to try as much as possible to ensure that the protection of journalists is even extended to other persons who use media as a means of reaching their audiences. Right now we are working with media associations like the Uganda Journalists Association, the Human Rights Network for Journalists. We are working with the Editors Guild. This was very pronounced during the electoral period and even during the intense COVID-19 enforcement. So this will help us dialogue further and avoid friction or clashes between police and members of the media. So the IGP has come out to reiterate his very strong signal that any attacks on journalists are acceptable and must not go unpunished. And is reminded all commanders to act quickly to protect journalists, and in addition, initiate prompt, thorough, and transparent investigations and ensure that perpetrators are brought to justice. You are all aware that in our police training, we've adequately trained police officers at all levels on the function of journalists, and also held regular refresher courses on media and policing. That's why there is somewhat very good improvement in that relationship. Therefore, as we celebrate the World Press Freedom Day, the leadership of the Joint Security Agencies reiterates its commitment to strengthen relations with the media and security agencies. Kyensobola okutegeeza bannamawulire kyekyokuba nti ekitongole kyaffe ekya poliisi kyeyongera okutendeka n'okufulumya abasirikale. Naye buli lwe tufulumya abasirikale mubeeramu okubayigiriza emirimu gya bannamawulire n'enkolagana nga bw'erina okubeera wakati wa poliisi ne bannamawulire, era kino kiyambye kinene nnyo okukendeeza ebikolwa eby'okusoomoozebwa. N'olw'ensonga eyo, nga bwe tujaguza olunaku lw'eddembe y'abannamawulire olwaleero obukulembeze obw'ebitongole ebikuumaddembe byeyongera okuggumiza bannamawulire bonna mu ggwanga nti beeteefuteefu okunyweza enkolagana wakati w'ebitongole ebikuumaddembe ne bannamawulire basobole okukola emirimu gyabwe n'okubunyisa amawulire eri bannayuganda awatali kutaataaganyizibwa.
While celebrating Eid this year, the Ugandan Muslim Supreme Council advised the government to back off from the controversial coffee agreement with Vinci Coffee Company, which has turned out to be a big threat to the coffee industry.
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. قال الله تعالى في محكم التنزيل: أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. قد أفلح من تزكى وذكر اسم ربه فصلى بل تؤثرون الحياة الدنيا والآخرة خير وأبقى. tufuna okwennyamira olw'ebyo ebitambula mu nsi naddala endagaano ezaakolebwa ku kigambo ky'ettunzi eri mmwanyi ya Uganda. Kya mukisa mubi okubeera nti omuntu agenze mu kibira n'abeera nga yasennya enku, n'abeera nga enku z'asennyezza tannasobola kubeera nga azeetikka ate n'agamba nti bannyongereko ekinywa ekirala. N'olwekyo oyakwasibwa obuvunaanyizibwa okubeera nga azimba eddwaliro eribowa tannaba kubeera nga akola bulungi, ate twaliyagadde abeere nga ateekebwako omulimu omunene ogw'eggwanga lya Uganda. Tusuubira nti tuyinza okuba nga abatambula abagenda mu maaso naye ndaba nga abadde emabega olw'ensonga nti twalina cooperative, twalina coffee marketing board. Ebbanga ebintu ebyo byabeererawo obuguzi bw'emmwanyi nze nasobola ku mmwanyi kase ne musuubulako naye nga nvuga buvuga emmotoka ne ntwala mu coffee marketing board, ne ntwala ewa Nakaana, ne ntwala ewa Nsamba, nga tulina obuzibu bwonna. Lwe tusaba embeera etunulwemu abantu abo bakyaliwo, ne coffee marketing board ebanga esobola okuddawo ebenga eddawo, kibeere ekitongole ekyogerera abantu ba Uganda ku kitunzi ffenna kitunulidde okubeera nti kituyamba.
Twakwebaza bannaddiini bonna okuvaayo n'eddoboozi eryawamu nga ffenna tutegeeza gavumenti yaffe ennungi nti yeekube mu kifuba ku ndagaano gye yakola ey'emmwanyi, nti weewaawo kiyinza okuba nti kizibu nnyo gisazaamu kuba twatugamba kizibu nnyo, bw'ogisalizaamu oyirira musigansimbi obusente obuwanana. Naye tugamba nti endagaano eyo eterezebwe kubanga abantu baffe wano mu Buganda kye kyokka kye balina ekyettunzi ng'ekirime. Sikiwa nti oyinza okugenda e Karamoja n'oleeta n'okola endagaano ku nte nti e Karamoja eno ente zonna tezikwatibweko okuggyako nga omuntu omu yekka yazikutteko. Naffe wano tugamba nti mu Buganda wano kirungi bw'obanga onookwata ku kintu ekikosa abantu bonna naddala emmwanyi ezivaamu ensimbi twandyebuuziddwako ne tukkaanya kibeere kitya. Ekyo kimu. Twebaza nnyo bannaddiini abatadde eddoboozi lyabwe ku nsonga eyo. Awo nno abantu ba Ssaabasajja Kabaka tubagamba mwe temuggwaamu maanyi, guno muyaga buyaga gugenda kuyita. Toddayo eka n'okuba akasimu n'obagamba bange byatabuse mmwanyi muziteme. Gwe simba mmwanyi yo osirike, guno muyaga gugenda kuyitawo gugende, ffe tusigalewo nga bwe twabanga edda n'edda.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha إلا الله الله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد.